Hello, welcome to this OMG video, food management keywords and dual coding. So what I'm going to do is in this video, I'm going to use dual coded images to help improve your knowledge of the food management topic. Now this topic, it's an interesting topic. However, there's lots of vocab that they may expect you to know in the examination. All right. So first of all, if we just have a quick look at this map, this is showing where people are hungry, and as expected, it is the LICs where people are hungrier. Okay, so if we look at the countries in sub-Saharan Africa, they are more likely to be suffering from malnourishment and undernourishment. Okay, they're more likely to be hungry and suffering from food insecurity. Now, if you go into the comments, into the description below, you'll be able to get a copy of this and also the blank worksheet. The idea is that rather than having to just remember all the definitions of the words on their own, if you look at these images, they will help you remember them. Okay, and we're looking at four factors going in a row. So, factors affecting food security, impacts of food security, strategies to increase food supply, and then sustainable food supplies. And right at the end of the video, I'll give you a couple of case studies, and that way you can revise the whole food management topic just by watching this video. So, first of all, the term climate. Okay, so the climate is the weather conditions over a long period of time. We generally look at precipitation, rainfall levels, and temperature. And obviously, in areas with a more extreme climate, it's going to be more difficult to grow food. And this can affect food security. Because if you can't grow enough food, you're going to be hungry. Technology. So, in HICs, we use technology for farming every single day. Think of things like tractors, combine harvesters. More modern technological advancements have led to peak farmers using drones to check their crops and to use pesticides. However, in LICs, okay, they're not going to have access to this technology, and even if they did, they may not be able to use it. So, this is going to affect food security. The next one is pests and diseases. Pests and diseases destroy crops. Think of insects eating the crops or diseases simply killing the crops. Now, LICs, due to the physical factors where they live, so things like the climate, the soil quality, they are more likely to suffer from pests that thrive in the warm conditions. And looking at the development topic, it's a physical factor why LICs generally are poor. Water stress. So, water stress or water insecurity basically means a lack of water and a lack of a system to manage the water. And this means that crops cannot be irrigated. Irrigated artificial watering of the crops. So, if you can't water your crops, you're going to have a lower crop yield, which means the amount of crops that you produce. And this means you are going to potentially suffer from food insecurity. Conflict. So, conflict or war. During wars, men who would typically be farming in the LICs or NEEs are fighting a war, so there's less food produced. And also, the enemy know very well that if they destroy your crops, you're going to be hungry, you're not going to fight as well. So, during wars, crops are often targeted. And finally, in this one, poverty. The poorest people, one, can't afford food more generally, but we're talking about food security and the production of food. LIC farmers can't afford the technology or the fertilizers to increase crop yields. Okay, the impacts of food security. The first one, you need to know this word for word, is famine. And famine is the widespread shortage of food that causes malnutrition, starvation, and death. When you're writing this in the exam, you've got to talk about widespread or over a large area. It could be a country. Undernutrition is lack of a balanced diet and a deficiency in minerals and vitamins. Even though I live in a HIC, chances are I am undernourished because my diet is not balanced. I need to eat more fruit and vegetables. In LICs, where they may be eating grain or rice for every single meal of the day, they're going to be lacking vital vitamins and minerals. Soil erosion. So, soil erosion is when soil is washed away. This may well be due to deforestation because the trees would act as a canopy protecting the soil. So, when farmers are over farming and using land for farming, they're actually becoming their own worst enemy because the good soil they need gets washed away. Rising prices. Supply and demand dictates if there's a shortage of something that people want, e.g., food, prices will rise. And if prices rise, this is going to mean people, especially poorer people who spend a larger percentage of their income on food anyway, are not going to be able to afford food. And this can lead to social unrest or food riots. Basically, people kicking off and getting very annoyed because prices are rising, and this has led to huge riots and sometimes injury and death of people, rioters, and the police who are trying to calm them down. Okay, strategies to increase food supply. So, the first one we're going to look at is irrigation. If you have ever watered a plant in your home, you have irrigated it. It's not natural, it's artificial. You have watered it. In LICs, we use dams, canals, and pipes to irrigate land, and this will increase crop yields and food supply. Aeroponics and hydroponics, okay? So these two, although they're often used interchangeably, they are actually different, but they are both farming without soil. Aeroponics is when a nutrient-rich mist is sprayed, think of a spray gun with water, onto the roots that are dangling in the air. That means you can farm without soil. Hydroponics is similar, however, the roots dangle in water and the nutrients in the water will feed the plant that way. This means that you can farm in lots of different areas that you may not have been able to farm in before, thus increasing food supply. However, this is high tech and generally expensive in terms of producing food. The new green revolution. So the original green revolution was when there was investment into intensive farming to increase crop yields and food supply. The new green revolution, okay, is using more modern sustainable methods to do the same thing, again increasing food supply. Biotechnology. So, biotechnology is technology to do with living things. Ultimately, scientists can mess with the DNA of plants and make them more drought resistant. That means they can grow with less water, or they can make them resistant to certain diseases and pests so they don't get eaten. Okay? And these foods are often known as GM or genetically modified crops. Final one, appropriate technology. Appropriate technology is appropriate for the people who are using it, sometimes called intermediate technology. It's easily available. If it breaks, they're going to be able to fix it, and it will also increase production without putting people out of work. Okay, so think of the sand dams they use in Kenya. That's appropriate technology. The final one, sustainable food supplies, organic farming, growing crops without the use of chemicals. Okay, and often little machinery. The problem is organic food can be more expensive. Permaculture or permanent agriculture, it allows for sustainable food production with the aim of not being polluting and being healthy in terms of the natural environment. Urban farming, farming in a town or a city. Uh, this is great because it increases food production. Also, it can create a natural habitat, attracting insects and birds into city centres. Another good thing about urban farming, food miles. If you're growing food in your garden or down the road, there's less carbon footprint. Sustainable meat or fish. So, sustainable meat is when you are farming on a smaller scale without having a big impact on the environment, so not intensive farming. If you think of chickens that are free range, they get to wander around and have a nice life. In terms of fishing, we're not going to be overfishing. So the MSC, the Marine Stewardship Council, will monitor fishing to make sure fishermen are not overfishing and giving the fish chance to have babies and replenish themselves. Seasonal food consumption. So the example we always use is if you want to eat strawberries in December, you can. However, they would need to be imported from other countries. This increases food miles and the carbon footprint and can lead to global warming as well as the general environmental impacts of burning fossil fuels. The other alternative is keeping these foods chilled or frozen, again using energy, carbon footprint. However, if we eat local food that's in season, There is no transport from hotter climates. There's no chilling of the food using energy. It is better for the environment and reduces food miles. And finally, this devastating statistic, 32% of all food produced in the world is wasted per year. All right? So rather than wasting food, we can have a more sensible approach to best before dates. And wonky vegetables are a great example of how supermarkets have worked with farmers to sell less perfect looking vegetables that would have been usually thrown away to ensure there is less wastage. So those are all the key terms that you need to know. Just before I finish this video, there are generally going to be two types of 6 marker that you get asked. One of them is going to be looking at the advantages and disadvantages of a large-scale agricultural project. Some more dual coding, I agree to some extent, smiley face for advantages, sad face for disadvantages, and our case study is IBIS, which is the Indus Basin Irrigation System. Some facts about IBIS, you can see here a lovely map of India, Pakistan, and the basin where all the river water drains from, and one of the canals. So it's located in Pakistan and India. There's around 60,000 kilometres of canals and 3 major dams. Opportunities, fruit production increased by 150%, and the fish in the reservoir are created a great source of protein, making people healthier. However, because the water is now more spread out, there is more surface area, so there's more evaporation, and this has led to some water shortages. And also, some farmers upstream have taken an unfair share of the water supply, so by the time we get further down the river, there is less water for farmers. All of this will help you answer that question. In terms of this question, use an example from an LICNEE to explain how local strategies are being used to increase sustainable supplies of food. The word explain, we use the phrase this means that. When you think you're going to write a full stop, turn it to a comma, write this means that. And we use the sand dams in Kenya. So Makueni County in Kenya. And very quickly, here is a sand dam that's been built out of local materials, so it's intermediate technology. It's been built by the non-government organisation, the African Sand Dam Foundation. And this has led to an improvement in water supply for irrigation. If we look around the side of the dam, there is more vegetation that's recovered, providing the environmental opportunities, natural habitats. And as a result of this, you could write in your answer, there is more water supply. This means that farmers can irrigate their crops. This means that their crop yields increase. This means that people are less malnourished. This means that life expectancy increases. Okay? So whenever you get this question, you could use that. And that, I think, is going to be the end of this video.